Spencer Turley actually likes terrain deformation in a motocross game? What the hell? Nah, that can't be. No way, dog. You know he doesn't like any sort of erode or terrain deformation. He doesn't want that in any motocross game ever. Don't you guys know? Don't you know, bro? Oh, dude, yo, little thing I gotta say right now. As soon, I'm talking the second I come back to the 360 version of Reflex, which is what I'm playing on right now, literally feels twice as good, like on the bike and the controls and the physics-wise, than the PC version of Reflex. Why the hell is that a thing? Somebody tell me, why does the 360 version feel so much better? Like, for real, what the hell? I cannot imagine somebody that had only played the PC version of Reflex and they've never even felt the true, what I consider the true feeling of Reflex on the Xbox 360. They would have a completely different skewed opinion about Reflex. They wouldn't even know like the real feeling of Reflex. But anyways, so just a little pointer to some of you guys out there giving your opinions about Reflex. You had better fucking went in here and played the 360 version before you really give opinions on it, because she's a whole different animal, dog. Like, even the whip system and everything everything just feels a little bit different. I know it's the same game, but swear to God, it feels different. So either way, point to this video, the whole terrain deformation thing. As you guys know, I've been going on a rant and a half about the erode system of MX Simulator, right? And I wanted to get in here and just clarify, because I know a lot of you guys are going to get these weird-ass ideas and take it down to a granular level and, you know, all this horse shit that always happens on YouTube. Anytime you say anything, you know, people are going to get ideas, every sort of different random-ass idea that could possibly pop into their head. They're going to think that, like, for instance, just because I'm not the biggest fan of Erode on MX Simulator, that somehow means I don't like terrain deformation in any other motocross game, or I hate terrain deformation in other motocross games, or I think terrain deformation should never be in any motocross game, or whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying? I obviously already know people are getting that idea in their head, and I'm here to clarify, okay? I'm here to, you know, remind you guys, listen, when you get on Reflex, okay, and you get on this Sandwick track right here, and you ride 20 laps with a full gate of people, this is literally one of the funnest experiences, one of the best experiences you can have in any motocross game, period. With the terrain deformation on this Sandwick Reflex track, you know, with full gate of people, 360 version of Reflex, literally one of the funnest experiences you can have in any motocross game, period, because of the terrain deformation, okay? So it's all you got to understand, it's all what particular game I'm talking about, what particular situation I'm talking about. For instance, like, with MX Simulator, my whole, you know, big disagreement with the erode in that game is the fact that there's no cush to the dirt. There's no softness to the dirt. The erode wasn't even really made for that game. That game wasn't even really made for that. Like, if they want to go in there and, you know, really from the ground up develop a full-blown true terrain deformation system that's actually made for the game and get cush to the dirt, get movable dirt for a, like, MX Simulator 2 or something like that, with a whole new engine, whole new system to the game, where the erode really makes, like, proper different types of ruts on different types of tracks and roughness, and ruts going up jump faces on different kinds of track. If they want to design that for an MX Simulator 2, then by all means, dog. I mean, I would want them to do that for an MX Simulator 2. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I would want them to do that. But trying to shovel cram force this weird ass, like, literally beta test, like, prototype ass, no cush, no softness to the dirt, just literally like minusing, subtracting terrain on the ground. That is literally what the erode system is on MX Simulator. It used to not even rut up at all unless you were turning. It would only actually like deform the track when you were turning. I mean, how much more do I have to say that it wasn't even made for the game? Are you kidding me? Like, it literally would only deform the ground when you were turning, when Erode was first coming around, they were first putting it in the Pro Race system. Obviously, they've updated it and changed some things, but Jesus Christ. I mean, it literally wouldn't even deform the track at all in a straight line, or, you know, in a straight line on a jump face or any of that. It could only produce it in the corners. And there's no cush to it at all or anything. So my sort of hatred towards Erode on MX Simulator is specifically on MX Simulator and the way that it is on MX Simulator. You get what I'm saying? You guys need to really understand that. Don't start comparing what I say about MX Simulator's terrain deformation system to other motocross games' terrain deformation system, because it's not the same comparison. That's not what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying? Like, like I'm saying, literally, having the terrain deformation and reflex on the Sandwick track with a full gate of people, one of the funnest experiences ever. Literally, there's softness to the dirt. It's got that sandy, soft rut vibe. The ruts are constantly changing, but they're not like getting huge and janky and weird. They're just getting a little bit more skill gap, a little bit more skill gap. They actually feel like sand ruts, you know what I'm saying, on a sand track. Now, I don't necessarily think the terrain deformation system on Reflex works as good on some other tracks, but for whatever reason, and some of their other tracks don't seem to rut up like they do on this Sandwick track either. You know what I'm saying? Keep it sound like I'm saying sandwich, like a sandwich, dog. They don't rut up like this anyways on, like, for instance, some of those default, like, brownie mix dirt tracks of Reflex. They don't even rut like this anyways. It's like they have a whole different kind of rut system where the hard pack, dry, blue groove style tracks, they don't rut up like the sand tracks do in Reflex. Reflex actually captures that different types of ruts and roughness and deformation depending on what kind of track and dirt compound you're on, which is the whole thing to it. That's the whole everything about it. Whereas MX Simulator literally doesn't make any difference depending on what different kind of dirt compound you're on. There's no difference. It's the same kind of terrain deformation, literally 100% the exact same. So that's what I'm saying about, just because you're hearing me get all this hate for Erode on MX Sim, don't think it's like I'm saying, oh, the next MX vs. ATV game shouldn't have terrain deformation. That's not what I'm saying. Or like, oh, Milestone should just completely take terrain deformation out. That's not what I'm saying. Even though Milestone's terrain deformation basically does nothing anyways, in an actual physical sense. You know what I mean? It basically doesn't do anything anyways, but, oh my God, I started to get that rapping ass voice when I'm talking this fast, dog. I swear to God, I can rap on this shit, bro. I'm the predictor, the tea sipper, the Chevy driver, the Yamaha rider, the Coors Light buyer. You know what it is, dog. Swear to God, I could make a rap with this new mic. I swear to God, bro. Don't even test me, bro. Oh, dogs. Like, that'd be too good. But anyways, just trying to get that point across. Every game's different. Every motocross game's different. Every terrain deformation system is different. Every track physics system of the game is different. You know what I'm saying? Everything's different. So just because I say this about that game, don't try to like carry over and act like I'm saying that same thing about another motocross game just because it also has a terrain deformation system. Don't get those ideas in your head because it's not true. That's not the way I think. Like, some games can pull the terrain deformation system off. They really can. Like, and with Reflex, it's been in there from day one. The terrain deformation system was made for the game. It's been in there from the very jump. You've always had it. It's always been there. And it literally like creates realistic ass roughness and multiple lines and can blow lines out, and like, whereas MX Sim, it just creates these weird triangled out hard ruts because, like I said, there's no softness, there's no cush. It doesn't really make any roughness, doesn't really make any ruts going in a straight line on a jump face or anything like that. It's just like, it's so beyond an outdated terrain deformation system. It's not even funny on what MX Simulator's terrain deformation system is. That's what I'm saying. When it's not even made, when the game is not even made for it, and it literally feels like the engine was not even made for the certain terrain deformation system that you have in a game, aka MX Simulator's Erode system, then just hold off. Like, what's the point in trying to force that into MX Simulator that was made in 2007? They're literally trying to put a fucking terrain deformation system into a game from 2007 that was never even really made for it. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Like, why don't you wait, hold off, keep MX Simulator as good as it's always been, keep that original perfection-ass formula on the original MX Simulator, just keep it how it is. That way you can keep all your older tracks, that way you don't split your community, that way you don't lose everybody in your pro racing and literally kill off half your pro racing, that way you can still have a vibrant online racing community. Keep all of that in the original MX Simulator. Quit trying to force something that should be in MX Simulator 2. Like, stop trying to do that, dude. It fucking pisses me off because they're literally killing my most favorite game ever of all time, dog. They're killing it off because they're trying to overcomplicate something. They're trying to reinvent a wheel that doesn't need to be reinvented. They're trying to, trying to create a hoverboard and like with all these random ass weird extra problems that comes along with it and shit. Like, it's just like, dog. And I'm not saying Reflex's terrain deformation system is even perfect either, but at least it has softness to the dirt and cush to the dirt. I swear to God, you will never get MX Simulator's terrain deformation system to even feel remotely good if you don't start having cushion and softness to the dirt, which I literally don't really think they're ever actually going to have on MX Sim, on the first game anyways. That's what I'm saying. Like, you almost need like a second MX Simulator that's developed with a more modern engine that can actually handle that shit and actually have a terrain deformation system that's made from the beginning, and you don't split your community. You've got like the first MX Simulator that has no erode, no terrain deformation system to it, and it's all pre-made tracks, pre-made custom tracks, pre-made racing tracks, pre-made cool-ass shit. And then you go to MX Simulator 2, and it's like every single track, even the stock tracks, are made for erode and have a certain default erode setting on every track that's on that track regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just the way the track is. Like, for instance, let me put it to you this way, right? Like, if you hop on this Sandwich track right here, my bad, boys. I haven't really sat down and played Reflex in a colder than a witch's titty minute right here. I'm doing a little bit of crashing. But basically what I'm saying, you know how on MX Sim, like, if you get on a track with the road, it's like, if it's just you're going to have a really low, or I say really low, you're going to have a pretty low road setting, but it's not going to be as low as you would have it if you had 40 people riding on that track. You're constantly like adjusting the terrain deformation level depending on how many people you have on the track, which doesn't even make any sense. That literally makes no sense because you're still a bike. You still should be creating the same amount of terrain deformation regardless of how many people's on the track. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for instance, in Reflex, if you get on there by yourself, you're going to still be making the same amount of terrain deformation within one individual bike as you would be as if you had a full gate of 12 people. It's just when you have more people on it, it's going to make more ruts because there's more bikes on the track, but you shouldn't be literally making less or more erode or terrain deformation depending on how many bikes you have on the track. That shouldn't even be a thing. You should literally, like with the Erode of MX Simulator or MX Simulator 2 or whatever, it should have a preset deformation setting and erode setting level on whatever track it is. And that should just be the way it is. You shouldn't even be able to actually change it. That should be something the track editor, the track maker does before anybody ever even gets on the track. And then whatever level the terrain deformation is in that is what it is. You don't like go in there and turn your road on 4 instead of 20, or go in there. Oh, that was too good, dog. Did you see that? That was a little accident. Whoops. 4 instead of 20, baby. God damn it. I'm too good with these words. Watch it. Dooski backtrack. Swear to God, dog. But either way, it's like for real though, and there needs to be a whole, like with MX Simulator 2, if you have an erode setting, not only should it be like preset on whatever custom track or whatever it is, so that you get like if you have a hard pack track, then you're going to have a lower erode setting than if you had like a sand track. It should rut up more in a sand track than a hard pack track. So that's precisely what I'm saying. When you're creating a certain dirt compound, certain kind of track, you're going to have different kinds of preset terrain deformation levels. But not only that, is if you create a whole new engine with MX Simulator 2, then you're going to have all kinds of other levels, like the softness of the dirt, like a slider level of the softness of the dirt, a slider level of the actual level, like how much you're digging down into the dirt. There should be another level on how much roughness the terrain deformation makes on that one particular track. There should be another slider that depicts how much it actually like kickers up jump faces on that track, how much it actually, like there should be like a slider on like all different elements of how the deformation is deforming the track. You understand what I'm saying? So you can have those different kinds of deformations depending on what kind of track you're actually designing, what kind of, different dirt compound and track design that you're creating, whether it's like a hard pack track, sand track, mud track, brownie mixed dirt track, Redbud style track. You see what I'm saying? Like, all of that is going to make different kinds of deformation, and that's just the way it is. So if you don't have all of those little individual settings, then you're never going to have what it's supposed to be. Like, whereas the current MX Simulator 1 with Erode, there is literally just an Erode setting level. That's all there is. It's either you've got high Erode or you've got low Erode. That's all there is to it. There is no, like, this Erode is softer on this track or harder on this track the way it's designing the ruts, or it's making more roughness on this track or less roughness on that track, or it's deforming more ruts on that track, like up jump faces, or less ruts up jump faces, or, you know, there's literally like no variation to how it's actually designing the deformation. It's all the exact same. And that's a ginormous fucking insanity, such a big aspect to it that alone should be enough to not even run Erode in the current MX Simulator. That alone. And just the fact that there is no softness and cush to the dirt at all. You literally cannot have an Erode system when there's not cush to the dirt. You can't do it. Stop trying to think that you can do it, because you can't. You people need to fucking understand. Could you imagine in real life if there was literally no movability to the dirt in real life? Literally, it was just hard as concrete. Literally the most dry, hard-packed. I'm talking like literally been sitting there in a fucking Sahara desert for 30 years straight, just hard-packed as shit, like somebody just rutted everything up, and that was the ruts. And it was just hard-packed as a motherfucker on every single track. Every single track. That's what MX Simulator's current Erode system is. I'm just telling you guys, that's what it is. Because there ain't no goddamn softness to the dirt. There is no cush to the dirt. There's none. Take that shit out of the game. Holy fuck. Like, I swear to God. Swear to God. It don't belong in MX Simulator 1. It might belong in an MX Simulator 2 if they design it right. It does belong in Reflex and could definitely be really cool in a Reflex 2. You see what I'm saying? So it's all, when I talk about terrain deformation in Erode, it's all depending on what game, what track, what console, what I'm talking about. You know, there's a lot of context involved whenever I get all these rants going about MX Simulator's Erode system. But I just wanted to clarify that, like, just because I'm saying all these things about how bad Erode is in MX Simulator and all these negative things to it in MX Simulator does not mean I'm just saying take terrain deformation and Erode out of every game. That's not what I'm saying at all. I think their Erode and terrain deformation is actually halfway decent and all out now that they updated it and stuff. You know, it's not too bad in that game because there's actually softness and cush to the dirt in that game. Oh, wow. You notice any trend here, RF and Erode fanboys? The terrain deformation systems in these motocross games feel not so bad and the best in the games that actually have cush to the dirt. Oh, wow. Congratulations. You finally figured it out. Like, and there's none of that in MX Simulator. You know, that's the funny part. It's like, Jesus Christ, literally none of it. I can't believe in a million years they would even start to try to develop a terrain deformation system and force it into the pro racing when there's not even cush to the dirt. How can you even fucking do that? Like, literally, what the absolute hell? Yo, just fucking dunked on that kid right there. Like, literally, though, I'm being dead ass. I know I fuck around and joke around and, you know, meme shit out and, you know, over-exaggerate and do all this shit for the comedic value. I know I am, but I'm being dead ass serious when I say that. All of you dudes, Checkers, Race Carlin, all you dudeskies that were the first really heavy hitters trying to push the Erode in MX Simulator, did you not even fucking think about the game literally having 0% cush to the dirt, 0% movable dirt, 0% softness to the dirt? Literally the biggest aspect to having an actual terrain deformation system to a motocross game. Did you guys not even think about that at all? Holy shit. Talking about jumping the gun, talking about rushing something, talking about forcing something when it was not even close to being ready. Not even close. That's why we've had a literal beta test and a half on the pro racing of MX Simulator for the past 2 years. Literally. Like, that's what it's been. And of course, you're going to get all the dumbasses say, you can't handle it, Spencer. You can't handle the roughness. You can't handle the road. You can't. Dude, I couldn't give two shits about what you're saying, what you're thinking, because I know what the hell's going on. I know. Like, you're not going to change my mind. You're not going to warp my mind. You're not going to piss me off. I couldn't give two shits. Oh, by the way, who are you? Are you even a pro racer? Half you dumbasses talking about how my opinion on Erode is so bad and I can't handle Erode, and I need to quit crying about Erode. Crying. I need to quit crying about Erode, dude. Like, boo-hoo, Spencer. Stop complaining about it. Oh, who are you? Literally, like 99.9% of those guys saying that shit have never even ran a pro race in MX Simulator in their life. Literally. And they're over there talking about how I'm wrong about Erode in MX Simulator. Just look at the goddamn facts. Like, Jesus Christ, it's not hard. Look at these dumbass, no-name motherfuckers saying that shit. They ain't never experienced anything in MX Simulator. They don't really know how the game actually is at a awesome pro racing level when you don't have Erode going. They don't really understand how badass that is. They don't understand everything else that it kills in the game. They just don't get it, right? They don't get it, but that's the way she blows, dog. So either way, that's just another why Erode should be completely taken out of MX Simulator. No fucking cush to the dirt. I haven't even mentioned that in the past like 2 or 3 Erode rants. Literally haven't even mentioned the no cush to the dirt on MX Sim, but it's so apparent whenever you come back to a game like Reflex and check out this terrain deformation system. Literally what makes it so good is the fact that it feels soft. The fact that you're blowing in and out of ruts. You can actually move between ruts without feeling like you're forced in a hardcore, sturdy-ass concrete rut. You know, there's actually deformation, softness to the dirt, cush to the dirt. That's what makes it feel so good. And then you think in your head, oh, yeah, that's precisely why MX Simulators feels like complete shit, because that game has no cush to the dirt. It was made in 07 and was never even made for a terrain deformation system. Going back to my whole point to begin with, it was never even made for that. That's precisely what I'm saying. Stop trying to put something in a game that it was never even made for. Stop trying to do that. Erode was literally put into the game to build ruts and then to save that track as a custom track. It wasn't made to actually race with the terrain deformation, and definitely wasn't made to do it online on top of everything else. Definitely wasn't made to do it in the pro racing, right? Like, good God. I swear they have made a mountain out of a molehill. Like, they've turned something into something that it was literally never even supposed to be in the first place. And it's shown. Like, I mean, how much more proof do you need? Literally, they can't get it right. It's literally a beta test still 2 years later after running it in the pro racing. Like, they still can't get it right. Even after updating things, improving things, changing things. Is it better than it was at the beginning? Yeah. But are we still anywhere, even in the remote stratosphere of where it needs to be? Hell no. Because we're still playing the original MX Simulator. It ain't even made for a terrain deformation system. But either way, ranted my ass off, and I have, just like always, boys. I'm going to keep on doing it. They ain't never going to stop me. They ain't never going to stop me. But I just wanted to get on here and explain, like, one of the funnest experiences you can have in a motocross game is the terrain deformation system of Reflex on specifically Sandwick full gator riders, right? On the Xbox 360, one of the funnest experiences in any motocross game. You see the difference in how fun it can be in a certain game on a certain track versus how shitty it can be in a game that it's not even made for, right? Completely different, like totally night and day difference there. Woo! Now I'm starting to feel my vibe, boys. So either way, dogs, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Be sure and leave me some colorful ass comments down there. I know you boys will. So keep on commenting, just making my video bigger. All you hating ass motherfuckers, just making my videos bigger. Just getting them more. The more comments I get, the more like or dislikes I get, just makes my video bigger. That's all it does. That's literally all it does. The more times you view my video to try to hate on my video, that's the best part. Those guys that keep on saying, stop whining, stop complaining, Spencer, yet they're continuing to watch my videos over and over and over. That's interesting. It's like, if you wanted me to stop complaining, stop whining, stop watching my videos, dumbass. Like, it's not that hard. You gotta love the ones that comment multiple times on multiple videos. Those like steady ass consistent haters. It's like you do realize you're literally killing your entire point, right? Good God, bro. It's too good, baby. So either way, appreciate all the support from the real fans. You know what it is. Later, my dudes. Bitch, I'm sauce and I do this often. Don't do no talking. Holy God, bro. Feeling the vibes now. Jesus Christ.